We have to go for interrogation ourselves because I can't interrogate you on selection if I've never done it. And sometimes you feel bad because you're like, I've tripped him up here. I never forget this bloke's face. You pretend to drop your folder, falls open, big A4 is missing kids. He sees them, I go, oh. Speak to you later. It was like, you need to join the army, mate, because I was getting in trouble. It's only going to go one way here. I remember my brother saying, oh, go in the engineers because you'll get a trade. I nearly got kicked off the jumps course on the first day. It was getting fire coming in on us, and then you just hear, they dug a little channel in the road, and they put a massive off-route mine with like loads of ball bearings and fragging it. As you turn around, the reverse side of the bridge was handwritten, welcome to Kosovo. Then New Year's Day, we was in Kabul. I found it really pure when he was in Afghanistan because you just concentrate on your job. I caused a mega incident at Lashkar, and I was at EOD at the time on Herrick 4. I've been a firefighter for 7 years this year, and I got a random text. Do you want to come on TV, mate? It's exactly like an exercise is ran. You don't have to come out and tell the truth all the time, but never lie, because you can't hide that lie.
On the debrief this afternoon, then, I've got a guy called Ian. You might recognise him, Dilksy. He's been on SAS Who Dares Wins as an interrogator, right? So this could really turn on its head quite quickly, couldn't it? How are you, Dilksy? You all right, mate?
Hi, Phil, you're all right, mate.
Right, I'm just sort of like, there's no lamps your side of the table for this one, all right? I'm telling you. Okay?
No, just grab that.
Yeah, just grab that. Bing, and he goes,
right,
you're
Phil,
under. The
thanks
big
for having me on.
So how are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good,
Really
listen,
appreciate you having me down. Thank you very much.
I'm glad you came on. So listen, I'm going to take you back to sort of like your childhood, and then we're just going to thump our way through it, and I'm just going to debrief you for a change, all right?
Yeah, I'm not used to this. I might start sweating.
Right, sit up straight.
No,
all the bags going on. The bags going on.
Is someone going to pop out here in a minute?
Yeah. Right, so where were you from?
I'm from Leicester originally.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Leicester fan football.
I am.
Oh yeah, really?
They're all over the place.
Fan, mate. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're sort of like in the same boat.
Yeah.
Wondering what's going on this year, isn't
Well,
it?
I'll tell you what, Southampton had a good run, didn't they? Then they slowed down.
And then the wheels fell off.
And Leicester have done the same.
No, Leicester are doing the same.
Lost the last two.
Yeah, crazy.
If I had hair, it'd be greater than yours, mate. I'll tell you right now.
My heart's, heart in your mouth football, isn't it? Proper.
So yeah, I've always been a Leicester fan since I was a young kid. I've always been.
Kasabian come from Leicester, didn't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
I was good friends with Kasabian in the day.
Yeah.
I used to look after them. They were
I think
good lads.
Kasabian's from Leicester.
Yeah,
Mark Morrison.
That's right. Yeah,
and Gary Lineker, Schwaddy Waddy. That's about it.
Waddy.
Engelbert Humperdinck. We're showing a rage there, mate. So
listen, so you was brought up in Leicester.
Yeah.
A good time? Happy time?
It was all right.
Stable family?
Yeah, I had a good upbringing, yeah. I had mum and dad still together now, bless them.
Wow, okay.
Still with us as well, which is amazing. They live down in Devon now.
That's always nice.
They went off down in Devon. As soon as I joined the army, I was old enough, they cleared off.
That was it,
bless
like
them.
that.
Yeah, they're not daft. Got rid of me.
Smokes,
yeah,
honestly.
But yeah, I had a decent upbringing. Went to a good school. I was mega into sport.
Were you good at school, were you? Were you clever at school?
No.
But you was all right at sport, so it cancelled it out.
It cancels it out.
Yeah.
Back then, teachers liked you if you did sport.
Yeah.
You could be a bit like that. I had a science
sport?
teacher.
What was you good at?
I was good at basketball at school.
okay.
I played for Leicester. I played for the Midlands when I was a
Really?
kid. Yeah,
Wow.
I did all right. I played cricket for the county. I boxed for my school.
So you boxed
did
as well. I was
boxing.
going to say, was a boxing. Did you do the amateur type boxing scene?
Yeah, I did. And then I boxed for the army for a couple of years.
Even now, because I got into boxing first fight 45 years old. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you picked up late.
When I spar with someone, if they've been through that amateur system, you see it straight away. Boom.
Yeah.
Billy Billingham. Been through the amateur system, boxers,
Yeah.
great boxer, do you know what I mean? And you can see it. The minute he puts his hands up, you're like, yeah, you've boxed. Do
It
know
is.
what I
You
mean?
can just tell.
Yeah.
A boxer and a
the
brawler.
shape, the way he throws it, you know, all that
It
sort
is.
of
It's
stuff.
unbelievable, the difference. But I started, but I didn't box that young, really. We had kids at school. It was only really till I got in the army that pushed me on boxing.
Yeah.
Because when I got to 9 Squadron, they had a really good little boxing team.
Okay.
And I only did one season on 9 Squadron boxing team, and I went straight on the army boxing team. Won the army champs early on in the early 90s. Then went on the boxing team full season. Boxed in the combine services, enjoyed that.
Wow.
And then I had to go back to work, unfortunately, because there's only one or the other,
Get
isn't
that
it?
tracksuit off, son. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
mate, they hated it in 9 Squadron. Because I still lived in my bunk, so I was still there as a lunch
And
jack.
9 Squadron's a keen unit as well, isn't it?
They're
Do you
good
know
for
what I mean?
sport.
So,
And they love soldiering. And then the more I boxed, the worse I got at soldiering. I went back as a full screw and oh, shit. I had to relearn everything again. I remember going next size and I went to someone, lads, set the radio up, mate.
Yeah, don't even know how to give a fire control order. Completely
mate,
gone.
You do, you forget it because it's just like you forget everything because you're just boxing. You go back to work and you go, oh, I need to screw
So
them up
rewind
now.
you a little bit. What actually drew drew you towards the army in the first place?
My brother, he joined when I was a kid. My brother's older than me. He's like mid to late 50s now. He joined at 18, so he was already in. He was like an airborne pioneer. He was in the Pioneer Corps, but did P Company.
Yeah.
So he was like, you need to join the army, mate, because I was getting in trouble. Not massive trouble, but it would have gone that way. Yeah, it would have gone that way.
Easy happens that way.
Easily.
Yeah.
And because I was a fit kid, I'd like to think I was a bit savvy.
Yeah.
I think it's only going to go one way here. And a few of my mates had been in big trouble, and we were like nicking stuff and doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had the police around my house a few times.
And I was like, creeps in, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Before you know you're drinking, there's girls involved, yeah.
I don't need to do this. And then I remember my mate went to the careers office, my mate Chris, because his brother was in the Guards, and I had no real interest at the time. I had long hair. I'll show you a picture after. I had long hair down the way.
We'll stick it up. We'll get it on the podcast. We'll get it on there. Because no one's going to believe that.
They won't. No, chance. I think the show will sack me if they see this. I ain't going back on that. I had long hair, so I went to careers office. My mate Chris didn't get in because they make you do pull-ups and sit-ups. And they said, do you want to go, mate? Because it was all run by military then.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I'll have a go. Did some pull-ups, sit-ups. Do you want to take this test? So, you do the barb test.
That's
following
right,
the thing, did the old barb test at the time. And he went, well, if you want to join, these are the options open to you. So I said, well, I remember my brother saying, go in the engineers because you'll get a trade. Then you can go the airborne side of life from the engineers.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll have a go at the engineers. And I ended up just joining. Then went through, and I remember...
Where did you do depot?
Chepstow. I was the last bunch to go through Chepstow in 93. Because it was junior leaders, but then they put us as apprentice tradesmen.
Okay.
So we did, I think, 8 months at Chepstow, then that closed. Then we went to Chatham and did our trade training at Chatham through there. So I was a brickie.
So what was you was a brickie?
Yeah.
You just don't think they joined up as a brickie.
Thicky brickie. Bricklayer and concrete. That's what he used to call us. They said, if you're a painter...
You're really good at it.
No, mate. You won't want an extension off me, I'll tell you that now.
Barbecue. I'm going to have a barbecue off you.
I'm better at shouting at people, I'll tell you that. But that's all we ever did. I think we did. You go and do loads of construction, where the brickies, whatever tour we'd do, we'd end up building a barbecue for someone.
Yeah.
I remember even being in Bagram, and they were like, "Can you build us a barbecue for one of your squadrons?" I was like, "Yeah." I think it was like one of the lads went, "Can you build us a barbecue?" His ex-nice squadron lad, "Dilksy, you got the toolbox?" I went, "Yeah." He went, "Bang us a barbecue up, mate." You know what I mean? We're in Afghanistan building barbecues. Quality that.
Ali.
No, Squadron, Portaloo, barbecue, mate. That's what you want.
So, where did you go when you passed out from training? What was your first unit?
9 Squadron.
Oh, so you went straight to 9 Squadron?
Yeah,
so
I went straight as a
kid.
kid.
Did you go straight on P Company first, or did you go to the unit and then...
9 Squadron, you know what they're like. It's a bit changed now, but they didn't know you. So you turn up on pre-para, you solely go there, you have to sit on different tables in the cookhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, it was mega.
No, I do
ruthless.
remember it. I did my beat up down in Aldershot when the airborne was still in Aldershot. So about 94, I think I went there.
Yeah.
And it was still the same there, log battalion, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like an infantry then. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, what are you saying about me?
I know, what's going on here? Because we went...
And everyone hated you.
It was crazy, yeah, they did. You weren't even allowed to drink out you're like, no, you're not allowed to drink the red juice. That's for airborne blokes. Green juice for you. And I thought it was a wind-up. So I went to put it on. He was like, no.
They are. I mean, I'm going to tell you, right, parachute regiment, airborne through and through to the Corps, 9 Squadron, × 2.
Oh, they're nuts. Honestly. And I couldn't believe when I got there, my brother went, oh, be ready for it because... it's harsh when you get there. I was like, mate, I'm fit as fuck. I'm running like sub 8 minute, banging out fizzy. I'll do all right.
Yeah.
Mate, they just didn't want to speak to you. And then when you were on pre-para, it was howling because I finished my trade training at Chatham. Then I went to Jib Barracks to do my sort of phase 3 training, really, like combat engineering, demolitions and all your bridging. Finished that. And then they tried to send me to Germany because I was running decent cross-country at the time. I was running for the army and they went, we're going to send you to 2-8. I think that's where the Army cross-country unit was. I said, I don't want to go Germany. I want to go 9 Squadron. I've had it in my head now. I want to get my wings and I've got to do it.
Yeah.
So I end up speaking up to Bob Matthews, the admin officer at the time. I rang him direct, and that's a no-no, isn't it? It's like sapper.
Mate, I've done exactly the same thing in my...
And he went, no, you've done the right thing. And then people went nuts. Why have you just rang the AO? Why have you done this? I said, well, I didn't want to go Germany. I went straight on pre-para. Great bunch taking us on pre-para, but it was just a thrashing. P Company seemed pretty decent compared to pre-para. Pre-para was awful.
I'm going to tell you. So we did it. So in the P-Para, we did our own sort of like selection to go on to the pre-para because they knew we were going to get beasted. The log battalion's pre-para honking.
Yeah.
Absolutely honking. They just battered you from pillar to post. And because we were infantry on their course, they handed it out even more. Like, do you know what I mean? It was ridiculous.
I think I had. Is it Stu Street?
Yeah, Stu Street.
He was on my P company.
Yeah.
He was on mine.
Guy. Little Stu.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Nice guy, isn't he? Fit, proper fit.
He was a fit kid. Little boxer as well.
That's right. Yeah, he was a boxer. Yeah, good boxer.
Yes, because on
good
Milling, they
boxer.
kept telling him off because he kept boxing. And they were like, Street. Honestly, he was dead wily. They were going, no. Yeah, we had him.
I milled a boxer. I didn't box at all at the time. Glenn Esprit, his name was, and he battered me. He put me pants tight. Yeah. Well, I got up every time. Like, you know what I mean? But I got put down.
Yeah, we had a couple of, because All Arms is random, innit? You just get random blokes on All Arms Speed Company.
And you get the Ruperts, of course, don't you, with the white shirts, don't you? So if you get a Rupert, you have to win, don't you? That's the sort of like bottom line, isn't it?
No, if you mill a Rupert and you don't win, it's frowned upon in a big time because you've got a chance to fill an officer in.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was like when we were boxing the police in London, and my coach was like, we were boxing the Met.
Yeah.
The Army was boxing the Met, and my coach, Neil, was really like laser focused, always about nutrition, stuff like that. Never lose your temper. The only time I've ever seen him close the door and he went, right, you're going to get to fill a policeman in front of all his mates. He said, make it count. I think we won about 10-1. I think the only lad that lost, we didn't speak to him on the way back. He was devastated.
He's back on the green juice.
He was devastated. Green juice for you, mate. You can't drink that. Your feet got beat up. But it was good, that was. But yeah, P Company was... it's bizarre, isn't it, when you're doing 3 fizzes a day? It's just
a drain from start to finish, isn't it? It's every day it's just a slog.
And it's like it's massive luck. It's luck. Because you look at how many lads, you think, we did the first day, because we were one of the first courses to do P Company at Catterick.
Yeah.
And on that mile and a half on the BFT, a lad went off and you were like, Jesus Christ. And I was running at the time probably a 7:40, 7:45, pretty standard, good pace. You know, when someone goes and you're like, I'll catch him up. I didn't see him again. And you're like, well, like a 7:15. You got a bet. I went, equaliser will sort him out, because it does,
do the
doesn't it?
2-miler and he's doing top.
Went again.
Yeah.
Close weapon, gone. But then I think we was on Land Nod or one of the things, bus stop or something. It was one of the rep ones where it's Bergen's on, Bergen's off.
Yeah.
Just went over his ankle. Done.
Yeah.
Done all his tendons, and you think he was on for top student. He was flying, that kid. Mega flying.
Yeah, it's crazy. There is a bit like we had a load of Gurkhas on my P Company, and they were really hard to tab behind.
Yeah, because
their feet are going 10 to the dozen.
They just run most of the way. They just
run.
run.
You're not trying to get and it's like
and they're machines as well, isn't they?
And you fall over and pick murder.
Yeah, I got on a log with a Gurkha, so I had the log. You know when you do the mini log, it's on your shoulder.
Yeah, the two-man little one. Yeah.
Gurkha's just running with it off him, and I'm like, mate. I was like, who's paired us together? So I was 6'4" bloke. I was like, who's done this to it?
He's not Jim Harder hanging off the back with like that.
Oh, mate, he was in bits doing that.
Oh,
it's bringing back good memories, P Company, because it's just, we had a doctor on ours, and he was doing the all arms. He'd come round at night doing old foot inspection with the old Tink Bends. He'd syringe your blisters.
Yeah.
He squared your weight, zinc oxide your feet up. He was ever so good, he was.
Yeah, it's a bonus. There was all sorts of people on P Company.
You meet a random people. We had a dentist, an army dentist, a P Company, a doctor. It was
what
mad.
business have you got on there?
Why do you need to do P Company, mate? Have we got a surgeon up the front? I've got a dentist. And mind you, I could do with a dentist. About 6 of them to get these. Jesus, you know what I mean?
Oh, brilliant. So you pass all that, and then you're sort of like 9 Squadron, and you're being talked to now.
Yeah, they're talking to me now. And then, because jumps courses are, again, they're like few and far between now, I think, because the airframes. We was lucky. You'd finish P Company, go back for the weekend, and then you were straight on your jumps course on the Monday. You'd have like a long weekend.
Yeah.
I remember coming back, running in the Army cross-country championships. Didn't do too bad on that. Ran with Tommy Morton. Tommy was a whippet.
Tommy was.
So me and
Tommy's a good guy as well, wasn't he?
What a bloke. But he made me look like an old man running. He would just go. Yeah, and he was the same with the Bergen on.
It's same with Bergen on, yeah. And again, a tiny bloke.
Oh, absolute machine. Yeah. So around with Tommy, come back, jumps course. So you're a penguin. So I now don't sit with the non-power train lads. I can't sit with them. Penguins sit on their own, because I can't speak to non-power train lads, but I can't speak to power train lads. So I thought, I'll pass P Company, mega. Oh, no, sit on that table. Went on my first jumps course.
Yeah, you need your BBC, your blue badge of courage.
I know. Went out, right, jumps course now. Having a good time on the jumps course. And it was, I nearly got kicked off the jumps course on the first day. You know, because you have like the reg warrant officer there, isn't there? So this reg bloke comes out, gives a big briefing. You lot keep coming in pissed. You keep smashing the block up. You keep filling blokes in downtown. Next person to get disciplined is going to get RTU. I'm going to make a show of them. So we're like, oh, yeah, all right, so yeah, screw the knot. Football outside. I walked past it. Dilksy kicked the ball, booted it straight through the toilet window, right? I weren't very good at football, Phil. I was too clumsy. Oh, no. Seen this warrant officer just come out. Who the fuck was that? I was like, me, sir? I thought, oh, I hadn't even unpacked.
I'm going home.
Get back on the transport. I was like, I'm sorry, I'll pay for that. And it was lucky. We had a lad who was a glazer, who was a Royal Engineer, and he was a painter and decorator. He went, I'll get the glass. He squared it away and we put it in with putty. We said, we'll replace it, sir. Replace this little toilet window and put it all back in. Squared us away.
Wow.
But I got injured on my first jump, so on my night jump, dislocated my right knee. Obviously, looking at the ground and then you land, don't you? And I was like...
start reaching for it, don't you? Start trying to tread on it.
Yeah, I was like, man, he feels a bit weird. Went to stroke my leg. I was like, sorry, I can't stroke my leg. I could feel my kneecap had gone to the side. So the medic come over, I'd have me little Siloom. Feel like a right dude, don't you? Laying there with a canopy all on you. What's the matter? And they're all paramedics, medics, and what's the matter? Can you walk it off? I said, my kneecap feels like it's round the side. Let's have a look. He went, yeah, you dislocated that, mate. Ambulance there, RTU'd. So I've got home, obviously medical, gone back to night Squadron.
On the penguin table.
Get on the penguin table. So I had to have physio, walking around with knee brace on. No one spoke to me. And then at the time...
You've now got a Fablon biff chit as well, haven't you?
Oh, mate, I may as well wear it around my neck on a bit of string. So no one's talking to me because I'm the only penguin.
Yeah.
Because all the rest are passed. So they're like, Dilksy, wanker. So they're all sat they can go on the tables near the juice now. They're allowed near the puddings. I'm in no man's land. It's awful. So I did about 4 months till I could get another jumps course and thankfully passed that.
Yeah.
As soon as I passed, we went straight on that exercise, Purple Star.
Okay.
That massive exercise in America. That was good.
Did they have a load of casualties on that jump?
Yeah, my mate Yorkie had a double malfunction.
A couple of bad ones, weren't there, on that one?
Oh, yeah. I thought, he won't mind me talking about it because he's still with us now. He's still alive. He's still my mate, Yorkie. Yeah, he had a double malfunction.
So his main and his reserve.
So main come out, he looked up, had a Roman candle, pulled his reserve, he went straight inside his main.
Oof.
How's the chance of that? And as he hit the floor, he was shouting medic, bless him.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
And he pretty much broke everything. They reckon because he was a fit geezer, he's a fit lad.
Kept it all together.
It held him together. He was like a bag of mush held together with muscle. And eventually, I think the pain, he had his ankle fused. He said, just take my leg off, I'm in too much pain. So he's still got his knee, but they just took it off below the knee. Okay. And he's out now, he drives trucks and that. He's all right, bless him, Yorkie. Still a fit lad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few. I think, I'm sure Marty Ray might have broke his hip as well out there. Marty might have had
I do
bad
know.
land.
I just remember it being one of those exercises where there was a lot went on, and there was a lot of, we were hearing about casualties all over the time because we were part of 5 Airborne at that time.
It was. There was because I think the Americans have a massive exception rate when they'll accept a load of injuries on a jump.
Yeah, well, they're throwing 5,000 people at it.
Well, that new T10. My last jumps was in 2016. I did an international jumps week in Germany, and their T10 parachute. They call it the Widowmaker because it had killed so many people. So I said to him, this is how I'm jumping the Widowmaker. She's like, why have you told me that? I said, it's just a nickname for it. I think 8 people died on it last year. Big square chute. But it was my own fault. I steered off and hit the runway. So the DZ's there. I still landed on the runway. I think parachuting weren't for me. Yeah. I did over 100 jumps and I think I'm still rubbish at it.
I don't like it. Every jump's a night jump for me. But,
I'm still rubbish at it when I was jumping out. I was everywhere.
So what was your first operational tour?
Kosovo, that was.
Okay, busy.
Yeah, Kosovo. Yeah, it was especially as a young kid, it was a massive eye opener. That was because we'd done Kenya. I was talking rubbish. My first operational tour was a UN tour to Cyprus.
Oh wow, okay.
But I don't really class that as operational. But even though it is on the buffer zone, I went there in '97.
That's right, because of the UN posting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It wasn't particularly kinetic or anything, was it? It was just a on tour, really, wasn't it?
And we'd go out, and at the time the troops were still living in the houses, on the line. So we'd do maintenance. So we was working summer hours. It was mega. You'd go out, you'd fix stuff, drive you around in your little pickup truck. At 1 o'clock, you're knocked off.
And you're Iron Upper.
Iron Upper, you're not meant to go Iron Upper. You're not allowed to go to Iron Upper.
No, of course, you never went there at all.
No, I don't even know where it is. No. I know, would I not stand out?
Yeah.
I recognise that bloke. He's got a massive team.
So you done that one. Yeah, so Kosovo, back to Kosovo.
Yeah, we went. Kosovo was 99. And I remember.
What sort of stuff was going on in Kosovo? I didn't do Kosovo at all. But
no, there was a few of your lads out there. We've seen a few. I won't mention the names, but they pulled up in a truck. we were thinking, we went over on the Chinook, thinking it was mega, because it was alley that. Everyone,
Yeah,
we
of
got
course it was,
Chinooks in
Yeah, and it was
on
an
the D
airborne
file.
thing, wasn't it? So
Yeah,
it
it's
was all,
mega.
yeah.
And we had Cobra support from the American Marines. They were doing the Cobra support, and then little mega, like mini Apaches, isn't they, Cobras? It was getting fire coming in on us. So you'd radio in Cobra support, and then you just hear it going, do, and then it'd be in the hills. That was alley, that was. And then this like civvy truck, it's like a Hilux or something, just pulled up. 2 of your lads, and they were both ex-Night Squadron, got out and went, "Oh, Dilksy, you got any fags or anything?" we've been here weeks. Of course you have. We've been here weeks, so we get them a load of rations. They were just all in civvies. Obviously tooled up. See you, mate. Off. I was like, thinking we're the first people here. But it was a good tour, especially as for a Night Squadron, because we got our own little town. We got a town called Lipyan that we just basically looked after, patrolled. There was a bit of kinetic energy, a bit of kinetic stuff going on, because there was still Serb forces in the area.
That's right,
and we're trying to push them out. And they won't want to go. And some of the stuff, I saw stuff there that you think, I didn't think that went on.
As in,
like body parts, and they'd just like done basically. They'd done like an ethnic cleansing. First ever mass grave I'd ever seen.
Yeah,
and you would have seen them. It's like they've obviously buried it, and there's bits sticking out, but then the fat. It's like a grey on the top, because the oil out the skin goes to the top, and you think,
the smell.
The smell's unbelievable.
The smell is just
the smell stays with you, doesn't it? It's
horrible,
it's bizarre.
A horrible smell.
And I remember seeing stuff like that, and I thought, Jesus. And then there was young kids with the parents had obviously been cleansed, and there was a little girl who was looking after a daughter, so we used to take her food out. And then when the Royal Irish took over from us, we handed over that family as well. Yeah. Because the UN weren't there at that time. So you think it was crazy. It was what was going on.
Yeah. And in fact, that's in the European backyard, really, isn't it? That's next door almost, isn't it? And you think to yourself, you see that sort of stuff on Live Aid. You know what I mean? You see it in Africa, and you think, all right, okay, Europe. Bang right, it was bang in the middle there in a day and a half.
Because we flew over, we flew into, I'm sure it was in Albania at the start. I'm sure we're there, and we flew into there right next door. Then we all got picked up. We got picked up there, and then heloed across. And I remember sitting on this big airfield, going, "We're going over there tomorrow. You don't know are they going to pull out? Are they going to stay? Because I know the Germans had quite a bit of trouble, and they'd left a load of booby traps for us as well. We found." What they'd done, they put like an off-route mine. So you had to go through this massive tunnel. Yeah. So we cleared through as engineers, cleared through it. And as we come out the other side of the tunnel, they dug a little channel in the road, waiting for a vehicle to go across, break the actual thing. It was all improvised, and they put a massive off-route mine. Yeah. With like loads of ball bearings and fragging it. And then as you turn around, the reverse side of the bridge was handwritten, "Welcome to Kosovo." So there was hoping that would go off, whack a vehicle, and then they leave you a little sign. But we found it and disarmed it, and then kept it, and they kept this massive sign in our squadron bar. Yeah. "Welcome to Kosovo." Wow. Yeah, but they left a load of booby traps and mined a lot of areas that we had to clear. So it was
dangerous places, and people sort of it don't register with a lot of people, does it? That sort of stuff was going on in Europe. The same as the Bosnian stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it was proper, full on.
No, it was
horrible honking stuff.
And I was lucky enough because I just got my Lance jet. I got promoted, I did a field promotion out there because I'd done my card. I got promoted. Yeah. Brigadier Freer, got picked up. And when I got picked up, so I had a little half section, that was mega. Yeah. And we're patrolling about. It's like, this is cool. Because I've just newly promoted Lance Jack, taking a section out on the ground, live ammo, actual doing aggressive patrolling. Real, yeah. And then they were short of, PF was short of engineers. They needed, because of the booby trap element, me and one of my colleagues went across to PF, we got attached to Pathfinders, and that was mega. Yeah. Like, fast roped into an OP, did an OP. This is mega. This is cool. Yeah, no, got thrown right in the deep end there. Yeah. And that was really enjoyable. But we was watching at night time because obviously the non-PF bloke was on Death Stag, and we were just watching the Germans weren't saying, they was having a lot of contacts with the Serbs, and we were obviously putting it down in the log, and it was crazy. And you think they're not telling any of this, and you could see big running firefights where we were on the OP. That was quite interesting. Yeah,
I mean, even that sort of stuff, because at the time, the only real other thing that had gone on was Northern Ireland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So at the time, to see that sort of stuff must have been proper good luck.
Yeah, because I never went to Ireland because I was boxing. And then I come straight back from Kosovo and then went straight on the Army boxing team. So I went straight back. Yeah. Because they said, "Oh, do you want to..." And I thought about going on the PF card. And I was like, you know what, I fancy boxing. I may as well do it while I'm still fit and I've got a chance. I'll go on the boxing team. And I love that.
So how far did you get with the boxing?
I was all right at boxing. I was never going to go pro
No.
because I did all right. I probably had well over 50 fights.
Oh, wow.
I only lost about 3 or 4.
Wow.
I didn't do too bad. I was quite
Yeah.
lucky, I think, who they matched me up with, I reckon. I think the coach liked me.
modest. Come on.
Yeah, I think they matched me up all right.
No,
But we used to spar some decent kids because on our team we had Chris Bessie was a Commonwealth gold medalist.
Yeah.
He was 6 times.
Who was in charge of the
5 or
boxing
6.
then?
We had Neil McCallum was
Okay.
in charge.
There's one
a
with
little
guy called
PT
Norm
club
Phillips
bloke.
used to do quite a bit of boxing.
Yeah,
army
I think I bumped into Neil a few times. He used to
Yeah.
come up and do quite a
Very
bit.
calm bloke, very skilled boxer.
Yeah, because Neil ran it for a while.
Yeah.
And he was good. Then Chris was the boxing coach for a while, but Neil was my coach when I was on the army boxing team, and he was a Commonwealth gold medalist as well back in the day. So we had a wealth of knowledge. Then you had a lad called Tony Davis. He was he'd won he was like England #1.
And were you based out of the
Box
shop
there.
when you were doing this?
Yeah, so I could still live on Monty Lines and then just walk across to Maida Gym.
Yeah, nice.
It was mega. It was. You could just walk across, do a little commute.
That's right. Yeah,
Because they all lived at Transit. They lived up the road at the Transit accommodation, which was rubbish.
Yeah.
I still had my bunk because I was a Lance Jack.
Yeah, nice.
I'd walk across. I even had a letter saying I could go in my cookhouse in a tracksuit. I used to have like a little Fablon letter.
There you go.
I did. They were like, I'm allowed in a tracksuit. I'm allowed. Proper tracksuit soldier. I know. Because I remember the Welsh Guards, because at the time the Reg had moved out and the Welsh Guards had moved in. And they're anal, aren't they? The Reg?
Screamers, yeah, screaming.
Oh, awful.
Screaming at you.
They are.
That sort of thing.
Awful. I remember going to the cookhouse and their orderly officer. I'm in a clean tracksuit. He's fired over, so I'm getting my laminated letter out. And he went, "Get out, get out." And I went, "Sir, just have a read of that." It's from a general saying, "My soldier, as long as the tracksuit is clean and presentable, can eat in any cookhouse in the army." I was like, "Have a read of that, sir." He went,
Hold it up. Put it up that little...
I went, "Have you read it, sir?" He went, "Yeah." And I went, "Anyway, jog on." And he went, because he was
Boiling.
He was
Absolutely
fuming.
boiling.
He was absolute predators. He was fuming with it. I went, "Anyway, see you, sir." And I had that for about a month till all the orderly officers realised, "Oh, it's that bald-headed twat." Comes in with his laminated letter and he's allowed to eat in a cookhouse in his tracksuit.
Does it? It's easier to, when you're like that, it's easier for me to ignore you and not take the shame of having you pull that letter out on me. You know what I mean?
He comes out with his letter. Here he comes. He was all dog-eared and everything.
I'll get jogging.
He was all dog-eared and that. It was like bulletproof. That was the best letter in the world.
So what operational tours did you do after that? You did your boxing? Did you go back on sort of operational tours?
Yeah, I went back when I'd finished boxing. That was the time. Time was done, so I thought I heard a rumour. I went back on my PTI Class 2 course.
Okay.
So I went back on that, a bit of a tracksuit soldier. I liked it. Anything to sort of get out of work. So I got on my PTI course. When I did that, and when I came back from that, there was another Cyprus tour, another UN Cyprus tour. Volunteers we need. So they ain't going to let me do a second one. Yeah, they did. No brickies volunteered, so I went back to Cyprus. So I've got a little #2 on my medal.
Yeah, you must have Iron Apple better than Aldershot.
I don't like talking about it, to be honest, Phil. You know what I mean? A year in Cyprus. I was brown. Put it that way. I got some tan. Yeah,
nice.
But that's when 9/11 kicked off. So we was out there. Did I? No.
No. What year did you go? Sorry, it's completely random. But I was just thinking about was you brown sort of like, yeah.
No, I joined the army. I shaved my head.
And
So I went to #2.
Never
and I
came
remember,
back.
No, and it went. And I remember standing in the shop. I remember being on leave. When when that CCTV cameras first come out, it was like a little square like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I went going, "Can I smack my head?" And it was a big. And that was it. I wet shaved it. Done.
Absolutely
Wet
done.
shaved
Yeah.
it.
Didn't want that. Yeah.
And at the time,
sorry,
that's all right.
From your story.
No.
You're back in Iron Apple.
I'm back in Iron Apple
You got
Bowl.
your #2 on
Got
your
my #2.
on your medal.
And we was just practicing for the medals parade.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind, I'd done 2 Cyprus this time and a Kosovo.
Yeah.
So I'd done a year jolly and 3 or 4 months was Ali tour. And then 9/11 happened 2002 and I said, I bet we get called back. And that was obviously September. We got a phone call to our boss, our troopy, said, bring in the lads back. Then New Year's Day, we was in Kabul.
Wow.
So we got brought back because it obviously kicked off. So
Yeah.
that was my first Afghanistan. I did 3 Afghans. So I did...
Noisy?
Second one, I was EOD on my second one. Yeah, which was...
Where were you based? Out of Kabul or?
We first went... The first one was Kabul. We did all Kabul. And that's when I
Yeah.
went up to Bagram for a bit because they needed a bit of support.
Yeah.
It was
All EOD type stuff, was it?
We was 9 Squadron the first one.
Okay.
So I was with 9 Squadron. And then I think Ivan was the OC at the time. So he said, "Oh, have you got any 9 Squadron blokes that I need a bit of like demolition support sort of thing?" So we went up to Bagram. That was cool. Going up there for a couple of weeks, seeing how you lads work. That was good to see that, because the kit you gets mega in it. You know, you're like,
Yeah.
oh wait.
Well, I was out by then anyway, so I didn't really get to see all that. So I mean, I got to see the lads over there because I was over there as well.
And you see all the wagons.
Yeah,
the wagons,
some of the stuff they got was unbelievable, wasn't it?
And we got took out in the Ranges a few times because the 66 went out, then they brought it back in, didn't they? So
that's right.
We never fired the 66, so they took us down range through that. We'll find the UGLs, we'll find the 50s. Oh, this is mega. This is something.
Yeah, all the gear.
And that's when we were searching the caves on Tora Bora.
Yeah.
And then we set up the infrastructure for the commandos to come out. They come out up to Bagram then.
Yeah.
And they cracked some of that. We went back down to Kabul. That was my first Afghan. And then I went on Herrick 4 as bomb disposal. Then I was at EOD at the time on Herrick 4.
Yeah.
And that was a weird one because they weren't massively into IEDs at the time. So we were still doing a lot of anti-mining, but we were blowing just everything up. We'd just blow up, we'd blow up. Then they wanted us to exploit it a lot more, which was when that started to get hurt, because blowing stuff up, you find it, clear everything, then blow it up.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to deal with that, innit? When you start to exploit it and you're taking it out, I've got a lot of mates now who have been badly injured by doing that, by mistakes or by
What was the reason for not just blowing it in situ?
Because it was all that biometric stuff. You know, they want to get the fingerprints off it and they want to see their
right,
TTPs.
Okay, so they were actually trying to get intelligence off it and see how it went
and a lot of
and all
it,
that sort of stuff.
You get massive stuff. We was getting certain footprints off a bloke who was wearing US issue boots, and it was the same bloke who was in different areas who was making these bombs and laying these IDs. So, and we ended up getting him. We didn't get him, but we got him.
So they want to hand him
got
over
him down the line.
to our lot again.
Exactly.
So someone can go and get him.
So that was a decent tour, and we had the AW50. We had the 50 cal rifle for shooting munitions, but then the Reg realised we had a 50 cal that could fire over a mile accurately. We ended up using it as a direct weapon, and it was mega. You had a spotter, and this 50 cal, you know, like you had a set of air deaths with another set on the top. Like that, and it'd shake. It'd fire through a compound wall and wouldn't even deflect.
Yeah.
It was some bit of kit that was. So we was using that, but we first started at Kandahar, then Bastion had been finished by then, so we moved on to Bastion.
Kandahar was a strange place, wasn't it?
Yeah, really strange.
Loads of Americans there as well.
Too many.
Yeah.
Too many about Kandahar. Because
I went there a few times.
It was so bullshitty.
Yeah.
You go out for running, if you didn't have your little luminous belt on, you get pulled over by the police. You're like, hey, I'm out for a run. Why are you pulling me over? When I'm running.
We are on an operational tour.
Oh, the amount of times that you'd have arguments and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we were a brigade asset, we was just bouncing in and out. We'd just constantly get fired in and out. A Chinook would land EOD, we'd fire out at the time. So we were quite busy. It was quite good. And we had sidearms and everything. So I had the LMG and a sidearm. So it was Ali. I had a pistol.
All about looking Ali. All about looking Ali.
Ali. So I had my pistol. Couldn't use it. LMG. Probably didn't know how to use that. But I looked mega. So I'd cut around with all the kit. But I caused a mega incident at Lashkar. Went to Lash. And a few of the PF lads were at Lash. And they said, "Oh, we've found a huge case of munitions, mortars, like rockets, the Chinese Type 72 rockets. A load of the stuff has all been handed in. It's too volatile, you know, because it heats up and cools down. It's really volatile, isn't it?" So I said, "Can we just dem it?" I said, "Yeah, can we?" So I was a full scout at the time. Me and my 801, who was a sergeant, we said, "Yeah, take it all out." Borrowed their quad and the trailer, ferried it all out. Probably took us an afternoon. Massive crater, got the 9 Squadron lads, built as a crater, filled it up, pee for plenty everywhere.
Yeah, pee for plenty.
It covered a lot.
And
we found a load of it weren't Afghan, it was like Soviet type plastic explosive, but we just use it, even though it had gone right off, it'd still go bang. So we'd use ours, then lob a load of that on it. Excuse me. And as we went out, I said, "Have we put a NOTAM in?" Yeah, got a NOTAM, so sorted. So I've come back in. I was in charge. My 801's like, "Yep, you run this, Dilksy." So me and one of the other lads, we're all ready. Yeah, we're all ready. Got the DRFD, like the old remote control.
Yeah.
Firing now, and you have a bit of a delay, and you always sort of go, "Shit, have I done it right?"
Yeah.
Just don't look at it.
Did I put the date in before I came back in?
And then you see the blast wave, don't you, before the bang? So this blast wave has gone. I looked at my mate and went, "Shit." It was massive. You saw this swell, and this bang went up. And I was like, "Oh, mate." It was massive. We set fire to this farmer's field, so we had to go and try and put that out. But I didn't realise we hadn't told there was a Delta det. No one had told them this was happening. They get anxious, don't they, with a massive explosion right outside the back gate.
Yeah.
This little Delta bloke with a beard, no top on, but he's webbing and his gear, shorts, obviously been fizzing, and boots. And he came out, helmet on, honestly, and his weapon. He come running out. What the fuck? So I'm stood there with a little remote control. I went, you all right, mate? He went, what the fuck? Is this you? I was like, yeah, it is, mate, yeah. I said, he went, oh, where is it? And all these other Delta blokes come running out. They had like wagons with 50s on. I was like, oh yeah, it was me. It's just a controlled demolition.
Yeah,
What's your number?
Just a bit of scrap, mate.
What's your number and name? This is. I went to the Pentagon. Oh, I was going to get right.
Went to the Pentagon.
They'd sent a signal back, we're under attack. They said there'd been rocket. Oh, I was like, I don't know. It just got me full screw. I thought, I'm in so much trouble. I've caused an international incident. So fair play though. The PF Sergeant Major at the time, he came out and went, look, I put a note, look, here's the log, here's my record, I've sent it all back. We should have informed you, but he goes, I totally forgot. I'm really sorry, but everything's in order. It's this, that, and the other. These, they went mad. They were going, I was mud. Every time I'd see him out, they'd looking at me like that.
You can't be missed either, can you? You know what I
No,
mean?
it's a good job I'm
There's
big.
that geezer.
It's
There's
a good
that
job I'm
geezer
big. I
again.
know, I
Yeah.
just kept going.
There's that geezer again.
And in the gym, I was training in the gym and they could see him. So I was like, I'll go on the punch bag. Yeah, come on. They'll see me on that.
Yeah,
It'll be all
flick
right.
a couple out there. Yeah, there you go, mate. Yeah, we'll have some of that. So you did that tour. You did another tour of Afghanistan as well.
Yeah, I did it when I went to RTMC, up at Nottingham, the reserve. It was at the time the Reserve Training and Mobilisation Centre, Chilwell Barracks.
Yeah.
I was there as a sergeant because I taught map reading, skill at arms, taught everything.
Yeah.
They needed sergeants there to basically mobilise a lot of reservists. And you get a random pool of people come through. You get, again, surgeons, you get this. So you're on the range. And a lot of them are civvies that have just basically mobilised to go to Bastion and be surgeons. And the treatment that blokes were getting in Bastion at the time was unbelievable because like Harley Street surgeons were going out and working on them. So they were getting mega treatment, but we was having to mobilise them, trying to get them to shoot.
And it was groundbreaking stuff as well, wasn't it? When you think
Some of
about
the stuff they were doing.
some of the injuries, and you look at some of the evidence post Mark Ormer, do you know what I mean? Triple amputee, he had no business walking away from there, and they sorted him right, didn't they? So there's
a good mate of mine, Josh Bodge, he's got his left arm, double amputee, and then lost his right arm as well, and he shouldn't be alive. Yeah. But what they do, one of my mates, they were going to take both his legs off, but because one of the Canadian surgeons said no, we can save his left leg. Built one of them massive structures, then like basically where it sticks in, and basically regrew a load of skin on his leg, and they saved his left leg because they could. Because back in the day they go get it off. But now some of the treatment they had was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? But it's good to see. It's good to see, and it's a proper morale booster as well.
And we was out at RTMC, and I said, we're training like lads and lasses to go to Afghanistan, but none of us have been operational for a while. Some of them went there as like a bit of a sleepy hollow to get out. And I said, why can't we go out? We've got a bit of credibility then. So a couple of us, we volunteered to be the first sort of people I said, I'll go on a Afghan. And I'd just done my ground sign awareness instructor's course. Yeah. And jungle tracking. So I was like, I'll go out. And so with the OPTAG, I went out and taught ground sign awareness to the troops. And I loved it because I'd go out on the ground, gain the information, see that their local training, because it changed. It was so fluid out there, what they were doing.
It was. The goalposts shifted daily, didn't
massively.
they? And what they were
massive.
looking for and how they were being operated
because at the start,
all that sort of stuff.
Everyone jumped in drainage ditches.
Yeah.
When you was down in the green zone, everyone would jump in a drainage ditch. So obviously they watched that and goes, we'll start then mining an IED in the drainage ditches. Yeah. Even they'd know what, say if some of the, like the Scottish lads or the Pale lads that didn't like the sun, they'd know that midday if they're out of patrol, they're pushing to the shade. They'd start IED in the shade. They were very clever.
Yeah, of course they were.
You can't ever.
And there was a lot of their intelligence was all based around watching people.
Massive. Getting dicked was
unrelentlessly
huge.
Watching people
constant
and working out what was going on.
They would watch everything.
It's clever stuff, isn't it? It is clever stuff.
It is. It's massive.
And I always say to people, I don't care what the enemy is. I've never ever written anybody off. I've never ever thought that anybody was any better than anybody else.
No,
because these people are extremely clever. And they might not be clever in our sense of way clever, but in their own way, which is different to ours, they are proper clever.
It is, because when I was on Herrick 4, they'd fight you head on.
Yeah.
They were fighting head on. So the Reg was having really, really strong firefight battles. Excuse me. So they were fighting head on. They were doing flanking. They were doing full frontal attacks. And they weren't that very good at it. So they were getting smashed by the Reg and the Royal Marines. They were getting hammered. So obviously they goes, well, this ain't working for us here. We need to start developing this. So they'd work on more ambushes. They'd work on more snap stuff. They always travelled so light. Yeah. We got heavier as we went for Afghan. Not like fitness, but kit.
Yeah.
When you had the collars on, when you had the side plates put in, when you had the full plates put in. Yeah. And it held you together.
and then the ECM equipment came, and then that came,
Mate,
and then
it's
that
the
came,
amount of kit, and then you'd
yeah.
have different weapon systems. So you're carrying spare weapons, you're carrying spare barrels, you're carrying how much
and the
ammo you can
ammunition
carry.
for them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They would turn up, they'd rock up on a few technicals, lay down some fire, rocket you. Someone else would hit you a quick firefight, and they'd bug out.
Yeah.
They were so quick, and then watch what you do. You'd be blowing, getting in some cover or pushing forward, and then they'd watch.
They've
out,
almost
and
taken
hit
an
you again.
SF approach to it, haven't they? Do you know what I
It was
mean?
like skirmish. They went really into skirmishing.
Yeah.
And then it went from, so when I went on my third Afghan and I was teaching sort of ground sign awareness, it went to staying put. So when you got contacted, because all they would do, one lone little gunman would come out and just go, brr, quick burst, and then watch what you do. Because if you're in their little like kill zone, quick burst, and you spread out into those thingies, that's why you just pretty much stayed where you were, did your 5 and 20s, and returned fire from where you were, and then looked at areas and think, can I move into that?
Which goes against the grain of, do you know what I mean?
It goes
Getting
against
out of the way
everything.
and taking cover, and even stuff that you were taught as an infantry on day one. Do you know what I mean? Take cover. You know what I mean?
You're standing out.
Crawl, absorb,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dash down, crawl. Wow, you can't do that there, can you? Because
No.
you're straight on top of an IED.
And that's why firing got taught. Because you remember when we first joined the army, everything on the range was in prone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Everything was prone. Nothing was kneeling. Nothing was standing.
Yeah.
Towards the end of my career, the ASMT, like everything, a lot of it now was you was standing, snap standing, kneeling.
Yeah.
You were still in prone, but a lot of it was standing, reactive shooting.
Yeah.
It had to
Yeah,
change.
it's that initial.
It had to change.
Boom, boom,
If you're not used to shooting standing up,
Yeah.
you're all over the place. You can't get hold of the weapon.
Yeah.
So that all changed as well. So it was really good for us to send lads out on that. We did the RIP, like the relief in place.
Yeah.
And that was my last Afghan. It's weird because I did enjoy Afghanistan, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I found it really pure when he was in Afghanistan because you just concentrate on your job.
Yeah.
But I found it weird that I volunteered to go, and I was like, you get there and you go, fucking hell, I volunteered for this. It's a great idea at the time.
Yeah, you can't even have a moan up, can you?
No,
Because
go,
you said.
yeah, I'm sure you put your name on this. It's your idea on it. Yeah, it was, yeah. So, and that was my third Afghan. And I was in Iraq as well, 2003, we did Iraq.
What was your role in Iraq?
9 Squadron. So I was with 9 Squadron.
Okay.
And again, we went with C Company Free Para. Like most troops in 9 Squadron, because it's a regiment now, isn't it? We're a full parachute engineer regiment now, 2-3. But back at the time, it was just 9, little stinky 9 that got left on their own because the Reg don't like you. And then the engineers don't like you, and the rest of the army don't like you. So you were like the proper ginger step kid of the brigade, like these weirdo 9 Squadron blokes. That's why.
With your berets pushed right round there.
Of course, I'll show you some pictures,
wings
mate.
on absolutely everything you own has got a set of wings on it.
I've got wings, right? I've got a set of wings on my stomach. I've got wings tattooed here. I've got wings everywhere, mate. Everything. Day sack, wings on it. We'd sew wings on everything.
Yeah.
I remember seeing blokes like you'd have desert
on your
boots.
flip flops and that.
On the flip flops, a set of desi boots. Like the camo wings on one side, blue wings on the other.
Yeah.
That's Ali, that. How do I do that? I'm standing in the block trying to stitch a set of wings on some old desi boots. But they did. We were like the ginger step kids. So we got embedded into C Company. And to be fair, they really looked after us. Their OC was really good because some people like to use us, some people don't. He knew the importance of us. So that was good. We got treated just the same as his blokes, which was mega.
Yeah.
So we pretty much, as we were sat in Kuwait was just that horrible, like you see on Jarhead, that hurry up and wait. You just sat, train, outrunning with resis on, train. There's only so many minefields you can prod. Just do another prodding drill.
How long do I need
Let's
to
do a
know
night prodding drill.
Yeah.
You couldn't get alcohol for love nor money or anything, so blokes are going stir crazy.
Yeah.
You prodding blokes, it's like blokes are falling out left, right and centre because you're just on top of each other.
Snapping. Yeah.
Portaloos are one of the harshest things. It's bad when you have to wear a respirator, go to a Portaloo, because you had to take your little poo stick because it was coming out of the seat.
It's peaking.
You've got your respirator on and you have to like clear it. You think, can't they just get someone to come and clean this?
Can you please empty this? And it's been in the sunshine all day.
Mate. Yeah. You just go, blokes are like holding it on. Going, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
I'll do it in a bag. I'll pick it up like a dog and stick it in the bin.
It was, but that was like a different world out there. Because you went straight into Afghanistan, who was in either Kabul, like Bastion, or wherever you were. But because you was in Kuwait at the time, it was a bit, not lawless, but you were just doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I remember my brother at the time was the RSM of 2-3, the Pioneers.
Yeah.
I was on our big camp, and they were near these massive old disused satellite dishes that you could see in the distance. So I was like, I'm not going to see a brother. I couldn't drive at the time, so I went, I was going to take a Land Rover because you don't need a license out here. Yeah, so I took a Land Rover, put it in second gear and just chugged across the desert. Basically, he turned up at his camp, said, "Oh, I'm Billy's brother. Oh, yeah, and he come, Dilksy, and he come. I had a brew with my brother. He went, how have you got?" I said, "I drove me." He went, "I'm the RSM. You shouldn't be telling that. You ain't got a license." I went, "It's all right, it's not your wagon, mate. Put it back in second again." Just chugged across the desert, like, just basically chugged back. I remember my MTO going, "Dilksy, have you just took a Land Rover?" Yeah. "Don't let me catch you again." "Yeah, roger that. Just want to see my brother." He said, "Next time, at least take someone who can drive with you." Yeah. So I did to see my brother, but it was that waiting.
Yeah.
Then we had a couple, we got scudded.
Yeah.
Because you thought, it's a bit surreal. You're like, it's not happening. And then the alarms went off, and then you've seen the blasts, and you could feel them. You're like, oh, this is quite real now. He scudded us, and then we invaded, went across, because the American engineers had blasted a load of paths through the minefields he put up. So they blasted through, done all that, and then we went across, and we was down like the oil field area. So we were doing rolling firefights going through. We were finding, because they all dropped down the uniforms. They took the uniforms, driving civic trucks, but they're all armed.
Yeah.
They're not stupid, are they? So
No.
They were like hitting runs
from.
and moving across.
Yeah.
So we had a few skirmishes like that. We had a huge firefight one night, which was mega to watch and mega to be part of. It's one of the only nights it rained. It hammered down. And we had a massive firefight outside this like gas oil separation plant, and the reg was hammering like these people, and they were coming out trying to fight back. We were fighting in, but again, you've got to be careful what you're firing in, because it's a gas and oil separation plant. They've got like a 2K, like anything's going to blow.
You start dropping bombs.
So you couldn't have no air support.
Yeah.
You basically, it was just an old-fashioned firefight, which was like mega to be part of. Got soaked that night, and you think, now everything's wet. All my kit's wet. You know, it's like everything stinks now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sand gets everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was good to be part of that. And then we just pushed forward, and then we went up to sort of right up to one of the rivers, and then held the bridge at one of the rivers. We sat there for a bit. It was quite cool. And then we did the because the infantry and the tankies went to Basra, but they couldn't get the tanks into Basra because Basra was quite narrow streets.
Yeah.
We did that clearing of Basra, the reg did, so that was mega. We were part of that.
Yeah, Basra was tight. Well, I remember driving through Basra a few times.
We had to go through Basra, and that was good. We cleared that. That was a good little job. And that again, because we was all spread out, and as we patrolled through, we was all keeping in touch, and you could look down streets and you'd see like the lads and that patrolling through.
Yeah. Mega.
Then you'd hear some sporadic gunfire. You'd hear it over the net.
It was all pretty gridded, Basra, as I remember.
Yeah.
Right? So you could sort of like, if you kept
you could see it. Yeah.
There you go.
We was
Next
having,
one,
because
there you
we'd
go.
obviously marked the map, and we had spot marks, and we're going, right, we're now at checkpoint 2. We had obviously code names for like, it was all beer, as you can imagine. We've got to San Miguel, we've got to Budweiser, we've got to Corona, and it was all because it was all on your mind, and no one could booze. Yeah. And that was quite, I think, Iraq was all right.
Yeah.
Did some quite good stuff in Iraq, and then we just ended up blowing loads of munitions up. We blew loads of stuff up in Iraq. And I think we accidentally dropped a school as well.
Accidentally dropped a school?
Yeah, because we put a load. Yeah. We had a cache in the school, and it weren't full of kids. So I'm only getting them for war crimes. Police, can we speak to you, Mr. Dilks? It didn't have kids in. We didn't kill any kids. I just do that for the record. There was no kids in the school, all right? But the school was empty, like a derelict told. It'd been like blasted, and they'd put, the Iraqi army had left a load of munitions in this school.
Yeah.
And it's easier for us as a concussion charge to sandbag up the windows. You can use less explosive because obviously it's a controlled box of pressure. It works better. And it was us and some RAF EOD. These RAF blokes, they were brilliant. They were like Dad's Army. They were all mega old at the time. They'd all never been out. Or the kit was all brand new. They were all dead happy to be there. Webbing pulled up here like that, you know, helmet.
Wearing it like a bra.
Honestly, we were all there. We're just like quite like chilled out, bit of baseball cap or whatever on. They've turned up, full body armour, chin strapped like that, turned up. But they had all the explosives, so we had to sort of run with them. And he goes, yeah, we'll do this. So technically it was his fault because he was the OD. And he went, yeah, we'll do this concussion charge. We'll put it all in here. And then we'll have a hanging bag as well, you know, so it goes, we're in the back of there. They had like a little armoured personnel carrier, the rough one. We all in? Yeah, firing now. Badoosh. Oh, that sounded big. Come back out, and the part of this school had just dropped. We're like, and I looked at him and went, mate, you're doing so much shit. He went, you helped me. He was like, threw him under the bus.
You're part of it.
It was like Sergeant Johnson or whatever his name was. I'm sure it was him. Brilliant. And then we did one. It weren't my job at the time, so you get a massive fine if you blow stuff up and then things start firing off. Yeah. It was one lad, I won't mention his name because I'll get him in shit. He went off and he was the OD at the time. We was helping them out, basically manhandling stuff. because we were used to explosives, we'd set it all up and they'd be in charge of them. It was like a fucking firework display, mate. Honest to God, he set this pit up and we were just going, wow, who set this up? Because we could see it. And I remember being like on the roof of the toilet because that's where you could get sat phone signal. So I was on my sat phone going, oh, someone's in so much shit. Mortars are flying off, rockets are flying off. You know, you're like, this shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. Oh, it was so bad.
Like a battery in the fire pit.
Oh, yeah. You could hear it on the net. A kind of deodorant. Get that in there.
Yeah, people cringe, didn't they, straight away?
Oh, mate. You know, you think, someone's in so much trouble for this. This is mega. You think like that. It's not me. Not me for a change.
Oh, dear. So, you got these operational tours under your belt because you ended up going to Chicksands, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
How did that come about? That's quite a bizarre sort of like change in circumstances, isn't it?
It's a make it change in like your career, isn't it? Really. But I come back from Herrick 4. I was a little bit disillusioned with the army. I thought I'm done. I'm going to get out. Yeah. So I was pretty much going to get out, going to put my chit in. I think I was putting my chit in for 24 years. I was one of them. Yeah. I'm getting out, I'm bagging out, and then just retire. But I come back and I was adamant. I was like, not the army stitched me up because they hadn't, but I was just a bit disillusioned. Things hadn't worked out, and I was like, it's not what I thought it was. EOD weren't the unit I thought it was. It was a good unit, but I was like, nah, it's more. I think I'm gonna bang out. And my old sergeant major rang me up. Zimmery rang me up. He said, "Dilksy, don't leave yet. There's a different job, and you'd be up there street." He'd done the course, but it was never posted there. He was like, "You get externals, don't you? You come back." And he said, "Do you fancy this job at Chicksands? It's like you interrogate people, but you do training. You do this, you do that." You go all over the world, essentially. It's quite a cool job. It's a lot of in civvies, get left alone a little while. It's all tri-service. So I said, well, I'll have a go. He said, well, don't sign off. Go on the sort of the 2-day sort of weekend or whatever it is. Yeah. So I read about it, and then you have to give a presentation. You go down to Chicksands, give a presentation, and it's bizarre. I remember talking about it yesterday. And you turn up. So we met Debs, who was on the show. She was like the person who liaised with us. So she was there, nice suit and that. Hi, Dilksy, nice to meet you. Gets you in. You do a presentation on a bit of equipment that like pilots and SFU. So give a presentation on that. It shows you knowledge of what you can research and stuff. So I did that. Went all right. Then they take you outside and there's these porter cabins. She went, right, what I'm going to ask you to do next? You're in civvies. Go in there, and it's a pub environment. So they've decked it up like a pub. Yeah. It's just a random bloke sat there reading the paper. I want you to go in there, build a rapport with that bloke, not too obvious though, and I want you to get this certain information out of him. Oh, fuck. I've no training in this. And they just want to see how you react. How you go in, so you try and talk to him. Oh, what are you reading there, mate? Oh, if you've got that common ground, so you have a little chat with him. What are you reading there? What are you doing that for? How come you're doing this? So you have a chat with him. Next one you come out. Right, you're going to go in this room. This person's going to be quite irate. You've got to try and calm him down. Irate? I went in this room, and a bloke called Ape, he's in there, and he looks like an ape. He looks like Lenny McLean. Right? He stood there. You walk in and go, all right. He goes, ah, and he grabs hold of you. Instantly, you think, I'm going to give him one.
Well, you must have been.
Yeah, I was like, I did. I was like, I'm going to give him one because instantly I'm like, ooh, and I think, no. I was like, mate, come on, calm down. What's the matter? Come on, calm down. I've not done nothing to you. And he keeps coming. But I think once you've tried a few times, he'll eventually start calming down. So you calm him down. So that's one. You come out of that and go, shit, this is a weird place, what they're doing here. Then I came back out and she goes, right, last porter cabin. You go in there. They've just offended one of your family members. They've crashed into your car. Anything you like to make you mad. But for 5 minutes, you tell them. You're not allowed to shout directly in the ears because always damage it. But for 5 minutes, you give them hell. So you're like, you rile yourself up, open the door.
Rile yourself up.
There's like a little 5'4" woman stood there with glasses on. Hello. How are you? Oh, so you have to, fuck. And you think this is so much out of your comfort zone, but some people couldn't do it. Some people go in and go, oh, God, it's not for me. And that's your little sort of selection, and then you get invited back to do the course.
I'd like to do that just to do that.
The course was cool. The course was, considering just military course, and you do some great courses, but you're constantly in civvies. You're learning body language, you're learning all like non-visible like learnings, non-visible like communication, non-visible tells when people are moving different ways. And it's not a rocket science, it's not always the same, but you start picking it up. Body language and how things work and tells when people are lying. It's great and so interesting, and because it's different, what you've never done in the army before. I found that really interesting. And then you just go through the course, and then obviously we have to go through interrogation ourselves because it's empathy.
Yeah.
I can't interrogate you on selection if I've never done it. It's nonsense. It's like the staff at Hereford have to have passed selection to take staff. Same as P-Company staff, pre-para staff.
Yeah.
You've got to have done it. So I went in the office and I didn't know why. We'd had a couple of weeks of training. And they said, right, we're interviewing now. We'd had a PT session in the morning. I should have seen that they were tiring us out. We'd been on the piss the night before. We had an early PT session. Blokes were hanging. Blokes and women were hanging. Like some of the girls were like, that's dying. And I was like, yeah. And they went 2 by 2 out the classroom. I was on my own. But I didn't twig while I'm on my own. I was like the biggest bloke on the course. Didn't twig. Went in the OC's office, sat with the OC. How do you think you're getting on then, Dilksy? So first name turns out, Steve. He was like a squadron leader as well. I was like, thing is, Steve, again, he's lowered my expectations. I'm sat there, door bangs open, boom. 4 blokes in ballies. I've tried to get up. One's dived on me in the chair, so I bit him. Because you got to try and escape, ain't you? Yeah. So I bit him. He's going, he's fucking biting me. Especially with these. He nearly lost an arm, right?
Oh, down to the skin.
I think he had to
down to the bone.
He got MD'd, I think. So I bit him, and it was chalk, so the lad at the time, he's going, he's fucking biting me. And then someone else has got their hand in my face. I'm getting booted in the side. They're trying to get me like a leg lock. And then when they've got me, they've got kneeling on my head, and I can feel one of them just punching the side of my head. So I was like, I deserve that. So as I've calmed down, I thought, I'll let them calm down. As I've stood me up, I've just swung and caught one of them on the side of the head because they've got a blindfold on me by now. Yeah. Swung and caught another one. Get him down. So they've got me back down again. I've got another bit. I can feel my nose is bleeding a bit. I'm caught now. The plastic cuff me. Every door out of that office I've hit with my head when they've carried me out.
Yeah, I bet they did. Yeah.
They didn't open the transit van door. They whacked me on that, then threw me in the back of a transit van. And then in the back, I could feel like my head's on someone's arse. So and I could feel them nudge next to me. I was like, it's so weird. When you know that there's someone else in the shit with you.
It's absolutely hard it straight away, doesn't it?
So he was like nudging. It was that called John.
Yeah.
So me and John then went through processing. So I'm stood there. And I had no undercrackers on at the time. I just had tracky bottoms on. A proper chav. Just having trackies on. No kecks.
Con commando.
And Debs was like that. Debs was she was doing her processing. She went, right. And it was Big 6 at the time. So you can't say anything apart from number, rank, name, blood group, religion, date of birth. So you can't do anything else, can you? Same as you did Big 4, did you, when you were through. So I was just stood there going, can't answer that question, Mum. Can't answer that question. So she went, right, I'm going to ask you to take your clothes off. You both got underwear on, haven't you? Can't answer that question. I pulled my kicks down. She went, oh. Just looked at it and went, oh, bless. Carried on smoking. Oh, I was devastated. You know, you stand there.
Yeah.
So she's just going, oh, look at that little thing there. And then John started laughing. She went, I don't know what you're laughing at, you fat bastard. And he was just like, so both of us were just, this little 5'4" woman's just absolutely demoralised us. And it was just, and you think, what is this bizarre world I'm in?
Yeah.
It's bizarre. What a bizarre place. And then, so you do your first interrogation. That was only 6 hours, book sheet that.
Yeah.
To make mistakes.
Yeah.
Go through that, do a big debrief, then you learn more on interrogation. Then you learn the different techniques, you do all the techniques, you go through that, and then at the end of the course.
Can you tell us any techniques?
Yeah, I'll go through that. There's different
techniques.
And then at the end, you do like a 16-hour interrogation, and that's mega. But the techniques, you've got, obviously, you'll see on the show, you have a friendly technique.
Yeah, Mr. Nice and Mr. Nasty. Or Mr. Mrs.
It's so hard to do a friendly, because, not for us, but to get through it. Because if you've got any empathy in your body, someone's been really nice to you, here's a cup of tea, here's something to eat. Yeah. Tell us, how did you grow up? Yeah, have this. It's really hard not to be nice.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. And you see some blokes, especially when you go for like the SF side, they hate that, the friendlies. Because they'll just be like, I want to be, because you're expected to just be shouted at or filled in or be like ridiculed. But they're just like, and you can see, like they start to bubble over. They're like, I don't know what to do here. This is difficult. I'm not used to this. Especially like they'll use the vamp. We used to have like the vamps when you get up.
It's all first name stuff as well. I remember the interrogator would go, right.
The military goes out the window.
Phil, come on, mate. Come on, John.
It is. The military goes out the window.
You don't want to do this shit, dude.
No, yeah.
I'm almost convincing myself, no, you're right, mate. I'll have that cup of tea.
You're right, mate. I'll have this cup of tea. I'll have this Twix. And I tell you what, I'm going to take my boots off. Give me these trainers. Yeah, I'll have that.
Fucking great, you are. I fucking love you.
What do you want to know? Write a letter home. And then you get...
Sign that, yeah.
But it's surprising the amount of times, because
bet,
you're still not meant to write anything unless you're pushed by physical violence and stuff like that. I just go, do us a favour. I know you don't want to... Here's a letter from the first Red Cross. I know you don't want to help. Just sign on the bottom of that. The amount of people think, oh, shut him off for signing that. Just sign it. You're like, you shouldn't have done that. Because unless I push you, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So you do that. And sometimes you feel bad because you're like, I've tripped him up here.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have really done that. So
no, but that's what you're there to do, isn't it?
You're there to train them. And unfortunately, we've failed. The amount of people that have come through interrogation and failed, especially on selection pilots, pilots have been grounded because they can't, on the PTCE list, and they can't go forward unless they do that. And
so they get a second chance?
Oh, yeah. They'll come back
get
through.
A second chance.
They'll go back through the training. They'll go back on the SEER school. And it's all down at St Morgan now. So they're running all down there. Yeah. They'll go back down. Of course they do, yeah. Same as on selection. But they have to do selection again. You've got to do the hills.
Yeah. I think they do. They can take,
I mean, we've had lads that
is brutal, isn't it?
We've had lads, and you think, and they've totally seized up on interrogation. They've done everything wrong. They've stitched the mates up. They've gone through the cover story too quick. They've done this.
The scoff.
And you're like, mate,
everything you was told not to.
You've gone into a farm. You know, look, they put the dummies out, don't they, with food. Do you want some food, lads? Don't take food. Yeah, we'll have some food. You're not going to tell anyone, are you? No. Straight on the radio. Some nice old woman. But, yeah, and then, so you have the friendly ones. Then you have like a firm authoritarian where it's a bit of a friendly, but I'll run it sort of thing. So I'm like, no, you're not listening. It's a little bit firmer. Yeah. Then you have it used to be called a mental assault, but it's not called that anymore. It's a bit more of a hard one. So it's like you sort of do, you just basically slagging them off. Yeah. It's like a really sarcastic approach. So whatever you say, I'm going to be quite sarcastic and derogatory. So it's like a firm authoritarian, it's called. Yeah. So you go through and you go, nah. That's bullshit, mate. No. Yeah. And I think, and they'd just do one little thing wrong and I'll jump straight all over them. No, you're doing that. And then you've got the harsh, which is just, no matter what you say, I'm going to shout at you. Yeah. You could be the nicest person in the world. You could have just brought a load of puppies in and been dead nice, and I'm still going to. You are getting hammered. Yeah. And it's up to them to try and bring me down, and that's what they've got to do, still try and build that rapport. Yeah. Even though I'm calling you, your family, whatever you stand for, every bit of crap under the sun, they've still got to try and build that rapport and not get riled up. Yes, sir. No, sir. And you can do strikes. I think that surprises people that you can still give them a controlled blow, either to the stomach or to the side of the face. And that really catches people out. Yeah. Not so much the SF lads. Pilots get caught out because they've sometimes come through quite nice upbringing, haven't they? And they've been looked, and they're at the top of the tree in the RAF, aren't they? Yeah. And then you give them a big slap in the side of the face or throw some water on them. The monocle falls out. They're like, I never got this. I never got this in the mess. And you can see them. They hate it. And I'm like, training. And I'm like, what's the matter? Didn't you like that? And you can see them just bubbling over. I'm like, have a go at me. Because as soon as they lose their aggression, it's gone, isn't it? As soon as they lose the cool, and it's all about maintaining that calm, keeping focused and going through. But it's so difficult. It's so hard. That's why we have to go through it, because it's so difficult to go through. Yeah, I had one of my. I remember I had one, and he was trying to wear me down with the same stuff, and he got me to stand up, sit down, stand up, and this went on for ages, and I was getting quite pissed off of it. And they'd actually come right up close to me and started saying things in my ear to stand up, and I knew there was a camera in there, and I literally stood on his toe and stood up as quick as I could, and I managed to sort of like catch him with my shoulder accidentally in the face as I stood up, and he actually lost the plot with me a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean, he actually got hold of me, threw me onto the camera. See, that's not good. And started shouting at me because we used to get monitored for that every few months because people believe they actually do this job. Yeah, it's just an act. It's all acting. Yeah. But you've got to be credible. Yeah, there's no point me going in there going, "Oh, Phil, I'm going to give you a jolly good beating." Yeah. You're like, no, you're not. It's nonsense. You've got to mean that you don't like it. In the back of my own mind, throughout the whole of that training, I had two things. You're not going to kill me, and you ain't going to make me pregnant. Yeah. And I used to tell myself that the whole time. No matter what it went, I go, you ain't going to kill me, you ain't going to make me pregnant. And that was how I sort of, my mindset to get through it. Like, do you know what I mean? I remember being in a dog cage, and they kept soaking us, and it was all about building rapport. Sat in this dog cage, in a dog cage, and I go, excuse me, sir. And the guard's coming around with his balaclava on. What? So I couldn't have a drink of water. You get the hose, wet me. And the thing is, They'd wet me 3 or 4 times. I'd keep trying. Excuse me, sir, you're not married, are you? Try and find a way. You're not a sports fan, are you? And after a while, he'd go, you're doing my head in. What do you want? And he'd start building a rapport with you, start talking to you.
And then you get that Stockholm
you get that tick in the book.
Sorry for you then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so I start ticking because it's proven it works. If you can build a rapport, people have been let go in the past when their execution was imminent. Yeah. The guards left the door open and they've escaped and they've it does work because people are humans at the end of the day. It's such an important thing.
Yeah.
People don't get their head around it. Why are they trying to make friends with them? Why are they doing this? Because it saves your life.
Yeah.
Like them people who got took in Iran. One of the lads, he kept building a rapport with the guard, kept doing press-ups. So the guard was watching him. So the guard would watch him do press-ups. Why are you doing them? Because you're big and all this, one of the Royal Marines. Couldn't have another blanket, sir, could I? Couldn't have another blanket. Couldn't have another cup of water. His fucking cell was like Dunelm. He had that many blankets at the end. Honestly, he's telling like one lad had a blanket. He had pillars, blankets. He was like that. Because he'd built that rapport and the guard would go, I'll get you another one. Yeah, sound. Yeah. And he was telling him like do dips and press ups and different ways of doing stuff because that little rapport just makes your life more comfortable.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? So you did how many years did you do it for? About 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years it was pretty much bang on.
Do you ever get into the realms of going away to operationally debrief enemy and that sort of stuff when you do that role?
We debriefed people say have been in captivity. So the Iran 15 with say Turney and people like that. Yeah. We debriefed them. So when they flew back into Chivna, we sent a team down to them, and then we also flew people out onto the boats. Okay. Some of us went on jobs overseas. We went to embassies and debriefed people out there. But anyone who'd been in captivity,
anyone's been taken.
Yeah, because we'd learn what they've been through, different techniques that we can then put into our training. Because you want it to be
proper interesting.
It's a really interesting job.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I do it, and it's such an evolving thing. Do you know?
It always evolves because
even in my time, went from the big 4 to the big 6. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it would always, even now there'll be stuff that we're not taught and don't know and aren't privy to and wouldn't want to talk about in here because it's obviously in play now.
Because the big 6, it was proven, the big 4 was proven that you couldn't build a rapport. No, and the rapport's that thing. So you just antagonise your captor by going, can't answer that question, can't answer that question. They're going to get it out of you. They're going to fill you in. You're going to get harsh treatment. Why not just make things a bit more comfortable for yourself? Talk about green areas, but we won't go into like green, amber, red, but you can talk about green areas. Stuff on social media, stuff about your unit that's all over the internet.
Because there's so much now that they would know just through default.
Exactly.
I wouldn't like to get involved in it now, and obviously, God forbid,
it's a minefield now.
There probably are people that will get taken in the future. Yeah. And it's going to be very hard for them now, I would have thought. Do you know what I mean? As it would have always been hard, but there's so much more. And there's also people could now draw up pictures of your family quite easily and all that sort of stuff. Do you know? It's just horrible, isn't it?
I know, and we'd use that. I know it's terrible, but we used to use that to our effect in some ways. We'd have students in and they weren't talking about the family or they'd lie because you never lie in captivity.
No.
You don't have to come out and tell the truth all the time, but never lie because you can't hide that lie. You sit there and you can't hide. So we've had people in past where they've said that they're not part of this and then in the Vietnam War and then Jane Fonda grassed a load of people up like years and years ago and then the captor's seen it, gone back, and this bloke was SF, and he'd said he weren't, and he'd lied, but he had a good cover story. But if you lie, we had SF lads said, we've got no family, got no kids. We'd obviously done our research because we had a whole research team. Yeah, section of like individuals, men and women, would be constantly before that course. All we'd have was your name, so we'd have Phil Campion, Ian Dilks, and you just research that people.
Jesus, what you get nowadays on me, mate. I'm telling you, what I mean?
You go on the electro. It was just cruise ships. We'd have the electro register. So you go on the electro register. Right, what they're tied to, what the parents. Can we find any pictures? And it was a few years ago before sort of Facebook was massive, but you'd go on Friends Reunited and stuff like that, and people had left things on there.
That's right, Friends Reunited. And all
so
that
we
sort
found
of
a load of stuff. We'd have accounts, so you'd pay for these accounts, and we'd have false accounts as women and stuff like that. We'd try and befriend them as an individual, and some people had had you and some people wouldn't. So now, then we'd print off a picture of the missing kids. I remember doing one thing, I never forget this bloke's face when I left. I said, right, so you don't want me to send a message back to anyone, you've got no loved ones? No, single. And he had missing 2 kids. So I stood up, and as I got up, you pretend to drop your folder, falls open, big A4, his missing kids. He sees them, I go, oh. Speak to you later, and leave. So I now leave him for 2 hours in stress positions thinking, bollocks. He knows I've got a missing kid and I've just sat there for the last 40 minutes lying. So then it's self-induced pressure on him. Yeah. We've put all the pressure back on him.
What lie you can tell to counteract the
and sometimes the amount of time that does their head in. And they'll either bang out or think
Because the thing is, all right, obviously you're not going to get killed, but you could fail that course.
And you don't
And
want
don't
that.
forget, people that are on that course want to pass that course.
Exactly.
It was for me, it was anything.
And you're so tired. You've been on the run for what, 4 or 5 days?
So if I'm thinking I'm failing because of something I've just said, then perhaps I'm going to try and write it. But then actually that's going to make it worse because I'm going to say something I shouldn't have said.
You've just got to go with it.
Probably got away with it for now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That pressure on your back.
Oh, it must be awful.
Bad stuff, isn't it?
Because it's just that you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
And you're never going to win. If you think you're going to win interrogation or you're going to go right, my job, or not, us as interrogators and the boss, is to put you in that situation where you feel uncertain all the time, where you feel like you've just messed up. You think, you should never leave an interrogation going, oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I've gaffered that. They'll let me go in a minute. Because you think you've done something wrong. If you go, that was brilliant. Thanks, mate. See you later. You walk out and you get binned. Because you should never leave thinking that. It's always, we need them to stay in that horrible, horrible position where, where it's gopping. Like when we turn up, Foxy's like, here they are, the weirdos. We just get loads of shit.
Because we have been talking for quite some time now. Let's quickly just go on to how did you get involved with the show?
With the show, it was Ant. I knew Ant from 9 Squadron.
Okay.
So I knew Ant. I used to work with Ant when he was in the SIGs wing. He was a little wretch when he was in the SIGs. And obviously, he left, then joined Royal and went SB. Yeah. We took him on selection, so we was his training team for doing the interrogation. So he sort of come to me and Dilksy, and I was like, you don't compute. He had a green lid on. He was obviously a bit stockier. He was like, it's Ant. Oh, mate. So we took him through his selection. Years down the line, he's obviously gone his way, I've gone mine. I got a random text. Do you want to come on TV, mate? And I was still in at the time, so it was a no-no because it's bad, isn't it, when you do that? So I was like, no, mate, it's not happening. Can't happen. I really appreciate the offer, but it's not happening. I remember saying to her, I think my missus thought I was a bit of a wolt. She's like, I said, I've just been asked on this TV show. So I'm like, oh, God. Of course you have, mate. Was it right? Said Fred Tribute? Yeah, I don't think so, mate. What are you going on? What are you going on? I did. I was like, yeah, going on that. She was like, yeah, of course, mate. And then he must have knew I got out because I got out in 17. I was on my fire service course. Again, a message. We're in here to chat. Rang him up. Said, look, long and short of it, come for a meeting. This is a girl called Claire. She's going to ring you. Meet her in London. Had a meeting. She went, can you send us some videos, see what you like on screen, tests, that, and the other. So, do I want to go on TV? Do I want to do this? Sent us some stuff and they went, yeah, come on. And then I remember we was filming. And even before it started, I looked around set and everything. Shit myself. I was like, do I want to do this? Do I want to put myself out there? What if I look a knob? What if this happens? What if I forget what I'm going to say? And it just went from there. Yeah. And I've done it. I'll be going back for my 6th year this year. Yeah. But it's bizarre and it's great because it's exactly like an exercise is ran in the army. It's exactly as they run. They leave us to it. We turn up on set. The DS, Billy, Foxy and the lads go, right, these are the characters. This is who you've got. We have no previous info. No one tells us nothing. They keep that stum. And then, because Billy's obviously a lead, he'll go, right, it's down to you now. You run the exercise. So then the umpire will run that exercise. And every individual will be treated totally different. You don't have a generic approach. We'll just tailor that to that individual. And it's really, it's dead smooth how it's ran. And they get hammered. I thought you'd turn up on set. They get cut and they go to a hotel.
They've only got 2 weeks to hammer them as well, haven't they? So they've got to get them in that.
Sleep deprivation is massive for them. What you don't see sometimes, they'll have them sandbagging. They'll have them just building a sandbag corner. Nah, not there. There. Yeah. They'll build that sandbag corner there. They have them stagging on at night. They have them doing stag list. Yeah. It's that little slow deprivation.
Because you have only got that 2 weeks, haven't you?
And you want them to, when they come to us, you want them to be knackered like when you guys come. You want them to be absolutely knackered.
It's not going to work otherwise. You're just going to get someone who's going to sit in front of you, be cocky and take the mickey, basically. Yeah. You want them to feel, to feel the burn, don't you?
Oh, 100%. And especially them celebs, some of them, you want them to really
of course you do, yeah. I want to feel the burn. I want to give the burn.
You're getting paid good money for that. But yeah, I've done it a few years. I really enjoy it. It's good. We've flown to some great locations, so it's been interesting. It's been all right.
So what's your plans for the future? What's Dilksy doing next?
Obviously, doing this with you. Yeah. I'm still a firefighter. I'm a firefighter.
Okay.
So I've been a firefighter for 7 years this year now.
Wow. Enjoy that?
Yeah, it's a really good job to go into out of the army. Because I didn't know what I was going to do. Left as a staffy. Yeah. And you think, where do I go? Where do I go from here? I don't want to sit behind a desk. Do I want to do this? Do I want to go on the circuit? Do I want to do that? Because there was EOD jobs that you could have done.
It's not what it was, I don't think, anymore. Do you know what I mean? There are still jobs out there, but the few and far between. The decent money's few and far between now.
And you get sick of living out of a bag. Yeah. I've got a local pub now I can go into. And people go, oh, I can just walk over there. I've got a nice little pub. Yeah. I live in a nice little town where people know how many think it's nice. A nice little. I can cycle to work. My fire station's only 7 miles. Cycle to work. Shift pattern's great. No, it's great. It's really good.
Living the life.
Yeah.
Lots of time with the missus. You've got kids, have you?
Two-step kids,
Okay,
yeah.
all
Boy and
right.
a girl.
Happy
yeah.
days.
Yeah, they're all right. They're
Yeah,
the dads
brilliant.
at the minute, out the way. But they're like, what are they now? 15, 16, so they're growing up fast.
Yeah, they do grow up quick, don't
Yeah.
they? I've got grandkids that age now. You know what I mean? So, wait, what is the future for you? What
I don't know.
carry
Staying
on with the fire?
Yeah, I like
do
the
your
fire
full-time
service.
with the fire service?
I do
Does
till I
your
can.
pension carry on from when you was in the...
No, because I took my pension. I'm a pensioner. So I took my full, I did the
pensioner,
24.
okay.
Yeah, so I took my full pension.
Yeah.
And then I don't pay into the fire service one because then I'm free. If I get to, I'll sort of get to 55 when the army's pension goes up a good jump. See how I am, and touch wood, if I'm still fit, still passing the fitness test.
You're still looking at them pretty decent.
I still train every day, but I've joined. I'm one of them mugs that joined the army at 16 in a fitness test job where you have to shave as well, and then I've gone to the fire service, still have to shave, and you do fitness tests twice a year. I'm like, I don't do myself any favours.
When you finally drop it all, you're going to grow a beard.
I'll fall to pieces.
Sure.
I will.
Get on a skateboard.
I know, just go mad. Grow me hair.
Yeah. Or draw it on. I'll get them.
You see, they've
big old curtains.
where they have
on
it
you like
tattooed
that.
on. Yeah. The side bit grows all right, like Terry Nutkins.
Well, there you go, that'll do it.
Yeah,
You
just
could look like
have
Terry Nutkins, couldn't
I
you?
know, yeah, like negative Mohican.
Oh dear! Listen, look. Whatever you do, you become a friend of the show.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll certainly keep an eye on what you're doing from now. Plug anything you want to plug quickly before you go. Is there anything you want to plug?
I'm doing a charity thing. I'm doing a charity walk for this young kid in my town. I'm doing it on the 30th of this month, April.
Okay, well, please keep us informed,
Yeah,
and we'll stick out some social
And I'm
media
walking
for you.
from Saltburn to Hull, so it's 100 miles doing it in one. I'm carrying a Bergen.
Okay.
And I've got the only supports with Missy. She's going to turn up, give me some food here, and I'm just going to crack on,
Happy
get it
days.
done.
Couple of bananas.
Yeah, but we've raised about $4.5 so far.
All right,
so we're doing really
we'll
well.
stick it out on our channels. We'll see if we can help
I
you raise a
appreciate
little bit
that.
more.
Thank you
I'll
very
stick it
much.
out on mine, etc.
Yeah, he needs all the help he can get, bless him.
Yeah, lovely. All right, well, listen, we hope you'll come back at some stage.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'd love to.
We'll do something with the other interrogators as well.
Yeah.
But until then,
I'll get him on.
thanks for coming
Thank you
on.
very much. Thanks for having us, Phil.
Nice
Thank
one.
you.
You're all right.